Hi, Mike.
Hi, Corey.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
You're fabulous. I am just excited for you to be here. You're Gary's brother, the guy he was talking about, the creator of that OmniQuest game.
Yes, don't hold the brother thing against me.
You have been doing conventions and trying to hone your game craft for a long time.
Long time. Yes.
So
And
you've
like,
been doing what? OmniQuest and what else?
okay, well, OmniQuest, of course, has actually been on the market. We've sold copies of that. It has been to Gen Con, and has been a major fixture at, Texas Game Cons, particularly here in San Antonio. I've also done five 24-hour RPGs. Yes, five. One of them is crazy enough. I did five.
Let's get to the main event. Let's get to what everybody wants to hear, your gaming story.
Okay, for that, there is one story that I have told more than once because it's such a cool story and it was all kinds of fun. And it harks back to my Traveler campaign. And our, high school gaming group had these two guys in particular, Tim and Dave. If there was going to be a character death in the game, it was going to be one of these guys. One particular game, the PCs were up against a group of these animals called Karada. And yes, I created my own monsters for Traveler. Deal with it. Karada is basically Komodo dragon on steroids.
Were they humanoid or were they just
No,
like
this is an animal.
okay?
You know,
So they're dire lizards.
four-legged animal about the size of a school bus. And so, 3-ton carnivore with a bad attitude travels in packs. They had about 30 of these things. They just happened to be in a place where they had a bottleneck, so the Karada could only come at them a few at a time. But they're trying to take them down with hand weapons. So they've got, blaster pistols, and a couple of people had rifles. Somebody had a few grenades. And the rest of the players figure out it's taking them too long to take down these lizards. And eventually they were going to run out of ammunition, and the Karada were going to be able to come through the bottleneck and get them. Everyone else backs up to the ship. And they figure, hey, we've got some explosives on the ship. We'll just take off a little bit, kick some of that explosive out the hold. That'll take care of all of them. Tim and Dave are like, no, we can take him. They stay there with their pistols and keep shooting. They're actually doing pretty good.
All right.
That with the two of them with their hand weapons actually managed to keep the Karada bottlenecked up in that little space so that the whole swarm couldn't come at them. Everyone else gets up in the ship, takes off a couple 100 meters. They kick a canister of this explosive out the back of the hold. This is the time when Tim's character notices what's going on. Now, he thought they could survive the Karada. He knew they would not survive this Netragone going off next to them. So his character was psionic. Psionics was a thing in Traveler.
Yes.
In his particular case, he was a teleport. Now, Tim is being nice. He asks, before he teleports out, if he can take Dave's character with him. The description of teleportation in the Psionics Handbook does not say this is possible. But as a GM, I'm not going to punish a player for being considerate of another player. So I tell him, okay, give me a roll. So he makes a roll and succeeds brilliantly.
It's always the guys who do the weirdest stuff that somehow when they need the ot 1 on a D100 roll, they'll get that ot 1, that 1% chance for some reason.
And he got that. And so I'm like, yes, you can take him along. Now give me a stamina check. He fails the stamina check, like badly. So my ruling on that is you teleport, but you pass out. You cannot control the distance or direction of the jump. And oh, by the way, this ability normally lets you teleport you and what you're wearing, and maybe a little bit of equipment. You're bringing along another person. You do not take any of the equipment. You do not take your clothes. You have you and him.
Did the other person, did he have all of his equipment, or were you both just two naked people?
No, it's two naked guys ending up someplace on the planet they don't know where.
Two naked guys broing out.
Yeah. Well, two unconscious naked guys, because the other guy also had to make a stamina check because teleportation was not something he was used to doing.
That's wonderful. But you knew where they were.
I knew where they were. I actually rolled the random distance and direction. I had the planet they were on mapped out. So I knew where they landed.
Good thing they didn't go straight up.
I considered it and then decided that would be just too mean. Straight up or straight down would have just been cruel. So they go somewhere on the planet's surface. Dave's character wakes up first. He doesn't know where they are. He doesn't have any real way of figuring out where they are because, no compass. So Dave picks up Tim, picks a direction, and starts walking. The particular nation where they landed is called Eriga. The Aragons, very technologically advanced, highly militarized society, extremely xenophobic. They walk for a couple of hours, run into an Aragon patrol. I describe in great detail the rifles that the troops have pointed at them. Dave's character is also a psionic. In this case, a telepath. He figures if he mind bolts the officer, that will intimidate the troops, and they can get some help getting out of there.
This sounds like a terrible idea.
He was actually not sure if it was a good idea or not. One of the other players at the table notes the description of the rifles and says, they're only stunners. So Dave goes for it. Mind bolts the officer.
You shouldn't metagame.
You should not metagame.
You should not metagame.
Metagaming is bad, as this story will illustrate. The officer goes down. The troops open fire with their molecular dispersion rifles.
Oh, that does not sound happy.
No, that's called complete disintegration. One of those rifles might have been enough to do that. They got hit with 5.
So they're nothing but a handful of atoms, I guess.
Pretty much nothing left of those characters but this anecdote.
That's pretty good.
The best part of this is that the rest of the time I gamed with those guys, anytime someone was getting ready to do something really stupid, somebody would say, they're only stunners. That's all it took to talk somebody out of a bad plan.
Ooh, well, that was a great story, man. Is there anything you want to promote right now?
There's lots of stuff I'd like to promote, but since I brought it up, 24-hour RPG, go check that out, 1km1kt.net.
Is there a way that they can look up your games on it?
There is. There's a search function on the site where you can search by author or by game title.
All right, we'll put a link below so people can click on that and it'll go straight to your games. How's that sound?
That sounds wonderful.
All right, thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.